And joining us now on King 5 Mornings is longtime pediatrician on the east side, Dr. Shifrin. Thanks so much for being with us this morning. So first, what are those students in Parkland going through right now?
Well, 14 days ago, they had their lives shattered by their high school becoming a battlefield. So now going back to that particular spot, they're going to be coping with a number of roles that they have to fulfill. They're survivors coping with grief. They're victims of this battlefield experience. They're students. They're now becoming activists. They're trying to have support for their friends in their community. There are a number of roles, and maybe the last thing is students. So again, being that they're there a half day, again, they're coping with so much grief in their lives, and everything is a jumble right now.
You know, I was hearing this morning the teachers talking about today will not be about curriculum at all, it'll be more about comforting those students. But you think about those kids going back into some of those classrooms where they witnessed so much horror last week. What about the teachers and their role in trying to deal with these students? Because teaching is one thing, but counseling is a whole different thing, right? Well,
exactly. Teachers can't be expected to be counselors, but they're there for support. And of course, they have to have support too. We've all seen first responders, when they start talking about their experience, they start to tear up and cry.
Right.
So again, it's very difficult to role model anything but calmness and support for these students. But again, traumatic brains don't learn well. I personally would like to see the students in that high school go to pass-fail this particular semester. And again, there's a lot of triggers in the school as well. They might want to change the fire alarm so it's not the same sound if there's a fire that there was when there was this experience 2 weeks ago. The triggers of a locker slamming, a cup falling can trigger these wonderful emotional responses.
All that's post-trauma.
Right.
Trigger post-trauma for them.
What about our teenagers here in Washington State? We've been running stories about people reaching out through social media. What would you advise parents to do in terms of talking to our children about what's happening there and what could happen here?
Well, parents are there for two things, trust and security. So again, reassuring our youngsters that we're there for them, we're supporting them. We're also going to check with our school board to make sure that there is some idea about safety at their school, and that's always a good thing to do. But again, saying to them that we're here to support you, and if you want to support the students at Marjorie Douglas Stoneman High School, be my guest, and again, let's see what we can do for them as well.
Yeah. Well, coming up, you're going to be on Kong talking about what to do if you think that you recognize a mental illness in a child. What are the red flags and something like that, or if you think that there's some issues that might be worrisome, what to do in a case of that. So you're going to be back to talk about mental health issues. That's coming up on King 5 Mornings on Kong.